Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone?
We are so back. So, I'm sure I needn't let you all know of the news. But Onimusha's back. And I'm gonna be honest, I had lost faith. I had actually lost hope that we would ever see another Onimusha game again. I am not kidding. And bear in mind, this is coming from someone whose entire YouTube channel is dedicated to the franchise. I honestly, especially after what was, let's be honest, a bit of a flop in regards to the Netflix anime, I legitimately thought that Onimusha was dead. I really did. I didn't want it to be, obviously, but I really thought it was. Cut to the Game Awards, which I couldn't even watch in full because it started at 12:30 in the morning, so I missed the initial reveal. But cut to the Game Awards, where we get the official reveal of Onimusha, The Way of the Sword. I mean, I could only watch the first hour and 10 minutes of the Game Awards before I had to go to sleep. And I ended up waking up at 5 AM, couldn't get back to sleep, decide, you know what, I'm going to check what I missed. First thing I see is about 7 separate pings on Discord, some of them directed specifically at me, and it's all showing that we are back. Onimusha is back. We got a new game. We have a new game. I never thought I'd see this, but I'm happy the series has not been abandoned. Bear in mind, right now it's about 9 AM, so I only discovered this about 4 hours ago. And I was kind of half asleep, so the reality and the hype was kind of dulled. Now I'm more hyped. And I suppose, given my position in the Onimusha community now, like, I kind of feel like I'm obligated to talk about it, which I really should have done for the Netflix anime, to be honest, which I didn't. But it's a full game. I need to talk about this. And I will admit, there are a fair few things that I wouldn't say worry me, but things I'm kind of trying to take into consideration, because I know this is a me issue. I think because I've been so focused on wanting to see the older games get some more love, I have been rather resistant to the idea of any new Onimusha game kind of moving away from its hack and slash roots. And this is a me problem. This isn't a problem with the game doing that, this is just me not being able to accept change, let's be honest. But for one thing, it looks as though, and it's not just me that thinks this, it looks as though this could be a reimagining or reboot of the series. First thing we notice is it is not the likeness of Takeshi Kaneshiro, which is disappointing because that is who Samanosuke has always been at his core, at least in regards to the likeness. But we know by now, especially here in Onimusha, we know that licensing fees for likenesses have never been cheap. And this is something that Onimusha has done basically up until Dawn of Dreams. Dawn of Dreams didn't use any likenesses, but we had Kaneshiro for Samanosuke in both Warlords and Demon Siege. We had, I keep forgetting his name, but it's a very late respected actor, also a very respected late actor, I'm mixing my words up here, for Jubei Yagyu. We of course had Jean Reno for Jacques Blanc in Demon Siege. So Onimusha is no stranger to likenesses, and I imagine that's also the reason we haven't got re-releases of the older games, because they would need to pay licensing fees for them. Which is unfortunate, but honestly, I kinda don't blame them. So, I'm disappointed, but I understand. The colour palette, in regards to his outfit, does match the Warlord's armour, so I am fairly certain this is a reimagining of Samanosuke. It looks more like... honestly, it looks similar to Sekiro. The Genma that we see in the trailer, which is not many, we only see 3. One of them obviously being the Zombie Warrior, and which has had a massive, massive redesign. And honestly, I'm kinda digging the new look. They look a lot more grotesque, a lot more... I think I would go so far as to say they look more eldritch in a way. They've moved away from the standard skeletons that we see with the Zombie Warriors. They're a lot more fleshy, with a lot more corrupted flesh. They've only got the one eye in the middle as well, it looks like. Even the weapons themselves look corrupted, which I do like. because we're used to seeing the zombie warriors just wielding standard, katanas or nodachis, while basically any other notable Genma has unique Genma-based weapons. Weaker Genma are just left with the leftovers of regular weapons, so it's cool to see that even the weak base level Genma like zombie warriors are getting weapons that fit the Genma. We see a bit of the combat as well, and what looks to be incorporated in, at least based on the animations, which do look pretty damn good. It almost looks similar to the death blow animations from Sekiro. On top of which, there is one moment that actually looks like there is a fair bit of dismemberment involved, which we only really see in Demon Siege, not counting Reynaldo because his whole gimmick is you split him in half and they regrow. We only ever see dismemberment in Demon Siege when you land a crit and an enemy gets sliced in half. Here it looks as though we can actually kill a Genma and cut half their body off at a diagonal, at an angle. Which honestly, it seems like a really weird thing to be excited about, but I do like that. I really do. We do see a new Genma as well, something that I'm pretty sure we've never seen in Onimusha. And honestly, it is rather hard to see exactly what it's supposed to be because there's so much fur, there's so much hair there that it blocks basically any facial or bodily features. All I can tell is that it's a large, bipedal Genma wielding an axe. And I know what you're thinking, large, bipedal Genma with an axe screams Uwasha, or Barabazu, or Baguwasha. But no, I'm pretty sure this isn't, because of the third Genma we encounter. That is only shown a couple of 2 to 3 second cinematics. No actual gameplay involving it, but Samanosuke is quickly charged by a massive bull-like Genma with 2 large horns. Initially, I saw people think that it could be Osric, which it would be cool to see a modernized Osric, but I do think it's a Baguwasha, based on 1, is charging, so the head's down, horns on the head, not coming out of the mouth, so that's one thing. But 2 is the appearance, and we only see it very, very quickly, but the skin tone looks to have a sort of pinkish reddish hue. That might just be the lighting, but also the pants that the Genma is wearing, and that's a weird thing to focus on, but Osric doesn't wear any. Like I said, very weird detail to focus on, but I do think that's a Baguwasha, which, let's be honest, is kind of a mainstay, or like an unspoken mainstay in Onimusha, not counting Dawn of Dreams. Well, I say that, they didn't appear in Demon Siege either, did they? It's weird knowing how kind of almost silently iconic the Baguwasha is. That might just be because they appeared in the mangas as well, and I kind of have fresh memories of that. As for the gameplay, like I said, it does look to have elements of Sekiro to them, just based on the animations. What we do also see is that Samanosuke actually seems to channel his Oni magic into his normal sword, rather than changing into, say, Reizan or Enryu, which I will be honest, I do like the idea of. I like the idea of being able to use that magic with a standard sword, but I do worry just a bit that could potentially allude to the idea that Oni weapons as a whole might, at the very least, take more of a back seat. Worst case scenario being canned entirely, with the magic itself simply changing elements, but all fusing into the same sword. I worry that that's the kind of thing that we're going to see, and that's one of a few things that I noticed in this trailer that seem to mirror the Netflix anime as opposed to the games themselves. Because we did see in the Netflix anime, Musashi never gets a new weapon, he channels his Oni magic, especially in the final episode where, spoiler warning, he goes into his Oni form and sort of channels his power into his sword there. I worry that's the direction they're going. Another worry I do have, and this is probably just me being a bit too stubborn with what we already have and not really liking the idea of change, but at the very end of the trailer we hear what we assume to be Samanosuke mention that he's feeling less human over time. Now that almost feels like it could be alluding to the idea that the gauntlet itself is starting to corrupt him and drain him of his humanity, which is something they touched on again in the Netflix anime. Now we know that in regards to the Oni, they have always been benevolent. They They're not so focused on the Genma that they don't really care about the human sacrifice so long as the Genma die, which is what they feel like in a Netflix anime. And I've seen a couple of people mention that this isn't that far from how they act in Warlords, but I would argue with something that I imagine pretty much none of you have seen, and that is the Warlords tie-in manga, which I am still in the process of translating. So far I've only translated the first 3 chapters, but the first chapter specifically reveals the Oni's desire to free humanity from the clutches of the Genma. And bear in mind, this manga released alongside the game itself, so this is part of canon, or at the very least, this mirrors what they are thinking in the game. While it's not accurately presented in the game, it's much better presented in the manga. In fact, a lot of things are better presented in the manga than the game, which is a shame. But that, to me, shows that the Oni have always felt this way. But again, this is probably just me being overly resistant to change. But yeah, that's pretty much all we see. And as far as the release date goes, we know this comes out in 2026. So we've still got a while to wait, unfortunately. Honestly, I am optimistic now. Well, I kind of have to be because it's a new game, which I never thought we'd see. So already, this is something that this is already best case scenario for me. We are getting a brand new game. Overall, I am optimistic about how this game goes. I am desperately hoping and praying that it is going to be good. But to be fair to Capcom, they do put out more good games than bad. Especially these days, especially in recent times. Hopefully, this game doesn't break that cycle. I do worry, admittedly, that they're going to try and push it towards the Souls-like genre, but at the same time we do see a moment of actual gameplay of the souls kind of fluttering about, and we know with Souls-like games, the moment you kill an enemy, you get the XP, but with the souls floating about, we did see a couple of yellow souls, we saw one red soul floating about, so obviously you have to manually absorb them as well, so I suspect if they are leaning more into the Souls-like genre, it's not going to be a full lean. So it might be kind of a hybrid of Souls-like and the original hack and slash, which honestly might be the best case scenario. Because as much as we love the original games, as much as we love the gameplay, as much as the gameplay is still fun, it probably wouldn't hit well with modern audiences, which is a shame. But yeah, overall, I am very happy. I am very, very happy. And needless to say, the moment this comes out, the day that this game drops, I'm playing it, and I'm going to post it without a doubt. And I'm going to give my thoughts. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and if you are a fan of Onimusha-based content, then be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any more. I would very much appreciate it. I am working on my new What If. I know it's been 3 weeks since my last community notes. The past month or two have not been kind. I mentioned before that I got hit with COVID for a good 2 weeks. We've had multiple issues with the house. We've had to get people in to fix the front door. We've had to get a new boiler. It's been a very difficult month or two. And this is on top of me getting hit with writer's block, effectively. But I've finished all the notes for my What If, it's just putting it into a full script now. It's on top of the fact that I do have 3 others that I've already got a fair few notes for, so again, it's just pushing through the writer's block. Part of me is considering in the meantime to do another Elden Ring Onimusha mod run, considering the last time I played it was like update 3, update 4, and we're on update 8 right now. Currently working on update 9. But we're kind of taking a break for Christmas. Because, to be fair, the 3 of us, myself, Murad and William, primarily Murad and William, let's be honest, have been working on that mod for a good 4 to 5 months straight. It's about time we took a break. But we'll see, we'll see. I'm rambling, so we'll leave it there. Thanks everyone for watching, and hopefully I will see you all next time. Take care everybody. Danish out.